Well, hello, DCO Nation. Welcome to Deadcom Outdoors Radio. This is the show where the tide set the tone and the bite tells the story. We're diving into everything saltwater inshore kayak fishing, from lures and locations to weather, water, and winning tactics. If it helps you hook up on more fish, we're talking about it right here. So grab your paddle, check your drag, and here we go. Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome to Deadcom Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. My name is Chris, and today we are going to be talking with Captain Chris Regan. But before we jump into that, I want to invite all of you guys to follow me on, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. You would think I wouldn't stumble through this every week, but man, I can't remember all these things. That's not the important stuff. But you know, if you guys want to follow the fishing adventures, all of the videos, all that kind of stuff, give me a follow. Just search Deadcom Outdoors. We can get connected. But okay, that is done. That is over with. Back in March, I had Captain Chris on, and we were talking that kind of right at the beginning of spring summer pattern. So I told him at the end, I said, I'm going to have you back on in a couple of months. And like clockwork, Captain Chris, you are back on. Thanks so much for jumping on.
No, absolutely. Happy to do it whenever.
Yeah, cool, man. I love it. I love it. So before we jump into all of the fishing talk, kind of the big topic issue that's being kicked around here in South Carolina right now is the new redfish regulations that are going to kick off July 1st. So they've moved the slot limit from 15 to 23 to 18 to 25 inch slot limit. And then they changed some of the boat regulations, which, you know, I just want to kind of get your opinion on it a little bit and kind of talk about, you know, the conservation efforts that's going on here in South Carolina.
Yeah, no, we moved from, one per person, two max per boat is basically what your catch limit is now. I know especially our area, I can't speak for every area, but our area, it just takes a beating, so we're under 10 square miles of backwater, and those redfish just get beat up so bad lately. It was, for the hardest time, it was hard to find a slot fish. You were either under or over. Mm-hmm. So I think this is going to help us, get some more of those younger fish, let them age a little bit, get some of the older ones that are going to be able to spawn a little bit more. But I think it's going to be a good thing for us. I was on the water today. I saw a good bit of redfish today. So we were fly fishing for them. And, I pulled for 6 hours, and maybe 20 fish I saw the entire time, and the water was decently clear. I had good viz, and I was out. I left right about the tide switch, so I pretty much got that entire incoming tide. So our numbers are down, like I say, especially in our area.
Yeah. And, we were kind of talking before we jumped on here, just kind of the way that we're going, it's just not sustainable. There are so many people moving to Horry County and the Myrtle Beach area, and really to South Carolina in general. Yeah. Charleston's population is just exploding right now. And if you just take a small fraction of those people who want to go fishing, and they're going to saltwater fish, they move to the coast to fish. So, just not really redfish, but flounder, trout, all of our inshore species are going to take a beating. So, I was glad to see the change, and I know a lot of people were.
Yeah, no, I would have been fine with it all going catch and release. To be honest with you, I love catching them. It's one of the best bites you're going to get in shallow water like that. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and I hope it continues. And, hopefully some people will see that, you can only have, 2 per boat. So maybe that'll help them just, hey, two's not going to feed the family, so let's just release them. It's only going to better the experience for everybody, whether you're on a charter boat or you're on your own on a kayak, paddleboard, personal boat, whatever.
Right. And, I really if we can, kind of self-monitor ourselves,
Hmm.
hopefully we don't get into that situation where North Carolina is with their flounder season
Yeah,
and shutting it down for only, I think it's like 2 weeks
2 weeks.
in
Yeah.
September. They open back up. So hopefully we don't have to move there and we can kind of self-regulate ourselves. So,
Yeah, and I mean everything because Mother Nature is going to self-regulate itself anyway. Between the dolphins,
right.
the sharks, all that stuff. How many guys are fishing around the jetties and stuff, and the sharks are the sharks are there. They're moving in quick. So if you don't have the right tackle, a big enough spinning reel, enough drag on it, those sharks are going to get it. So there's another one that's off of it. So anything we can do to kind of help sustain it, it's just going to better the fishery and the experience for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. So, okay, so let's stay kind of on this topic a little bit.
Yeah.
I wanna kind of dovetail it into the summer patterns and what we're seeing. So since we're talking redfish, let's go ahead and move into what are you seeing moving into these warmer water temperatures? And we're early June right now. What are you starting to see with redfish?
Um, we're, today I left, I don't know, it was 8 o'clock or so. So our water temps, I mean, we were cold for the longest time and then we were in a drought. So right now we're seeing like, 82 to 86 degree water, but our bait has finally showed up. I'm sure you've seen it and I saw it on the flats boat. We've had bait here this entire time, but look at all the pogey schools that are coming down the beach. Our mullet are here now and they're thick. But I mean, I was in spots today where I had, pods of peanut pogies, big
Yes.
schools of giant mullet running through them, and then there's grass shrimp on the bank. So everything is here right now. Everything is in play. There's mud minnows, crabs, there's everything. But I know like our big pogie pods running down the beach that feed a lot of those bigger redfish. We needed that rain. We were in a drought, so those rivers were the levels were so low there wasn't a whole lot of flow coming out of Georgetown, and in the other rivers. So all that bait was kind of stacked up all inside there. And now that we got all that rain, it kind of flushed it out. And lo and behold, here's the bait. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, anything that is resembling any of those bait fish, you can get bit on. So, like I say, today was a fly trip, and most of the flies that I tied were more of I call it like a fat shrimp. So it kind of imitates both grass shrimp, but it also has a bigger body, so it can kind of look like a crab as well. So that's what I've been sticking with the last probably, I don't know, last week or so, and it's been pretty successful on it.
Yeah.
But
So
anything,
a couple of things that you mentioned when I was out this weekend, you talk about these pogie schools,
yeah,
and I was back up in this one creek, and I was watching these pogies jump from docks over to the grass, and they were just coming out of the water and just skipping, getting right into the grass, and they were everywhere. I was
yeah,
looking down this creek, and I could just see them everywhere skipping across the top. So
yep,
yeah, when you say bait it is everywhere right now.
literally everywhere. And I mean, it's all sizes too, everything from
Yeah,
a half inch to 8 or 9 inches.
yeah, yeah,
So this is the
and
first year I've seen some of the giant mullet that we have in there.
mhm.
I have to do a double take half the time and check the tail to see if it's a redfish or a mullet. There's some in there that are 25 inches.
Yeah, yeah. So you kind of touched on the fly patterns that you were doing. So kind of talk to me about the lures. Let's start fly first, and then let's move into the artificials.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, the shrimp pattern, that's pretty much what my go-to. I started tying some and getting them from one of the local guys. It's just a fat body shrimp is really all it is. Same thing, like a 2.5, 3 inch fly somewhere in there. But that's what's been working for me. So I know some of the other guys, throwing clousers and that stuff, but like I say, that with a weed guard on it, that is pretty much my go-to every day. As far as artificials, uh, kind of go back and forth, still throwing some shrimp patterns, but almost doing more of I'll do the baller Z's, almost like jerk baits. What are they? The Z-Man ones. I know Gulp makes them. Been doing those, doing some of them like tandem rigged. So the tandem voodoo is still, pretty deadly.
Yeah.
I know one of the guys, he about caught two 17-inch flounder on it at the same time today.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Every now and then you can do it if you work it, 2 twitches and let it pause for a minute. You
Yeah.
can get a bit like that. And I know on the charter boat side, throwing a double mud minnow rig. I do a jig head on the bottom and just a hook with a loop knot up top, and that works too. Get one on the bottom, one kind of fluttering up here swimming.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, color hasn't really made a big difference. Still throwing some whites in there, but natural colors is kind of what I've been sticking to and been pretty good. So I know it's like a Bloody Mary something. I had some pretty good success with that. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been throwing the kicker crab, the Z-Man kicker crab, and had been having some great success with it. I had a buddy that was out and was seeing the small blue crabs kind of swimming along the top, of the water column. So he started throwing that out weightless, just like that swimming crab.
Right.
And they were just blowing up on it. The reds were loving it. So have you been seeing that too?
Yeah. So it's funny you say that because especially the last 2 times I've been out, I've started at low tide. And I mean, the eats on the water, they're belly crawling up the like mud banks and all that because there's so much shrimp and crabs and everything there. But even sitting there at low tide, I mean, the amount of flounder that I've been seeing. So there's a lot of small ones in there now. We've been really having to work to find any keepers, but there's tons of small fish in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving it. So at least I'm seeing the same thing that the professionals are seeing. That's always good for the ego when we do that.
Well, it's funny that you say, throwing it kind of weightless. So when I'm in the grass sight fishing, a lot of the stuff I'll do is on like a bass worm hook with no weight. Yeah. And some of them I may do like a 1/16 ounce, weedless jig head. And I usually use the like the keel weighted ones. Yep. And that's what I throw in the grass. Because it's not because even like you say with that kicker crab, you can kind of slither it through and you don't have to worry about getting snagged up or any of that stuff.
Exactly.
And it's a big enough profile where it almost, if you work it fast, it's almost like a topwater.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been doing, kind of as a topwater. And then, with that little back, claw thing, you can almost work it like a paddle tail too. Yeah. So, but hey, hold that thought. We're going to jump into some more patterns here. Guys, we've come to the end of the first segment. Don't go anywhere. We're talking with Captain Chris Regan with Carolina Hook and Fly. You're listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. Well, welcome back, DCO Nation. You're listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. And we are talking summer patterns with Captain Chris Regan with Carolina Hook and Fly. Sorry, my ankle is itching. I had to maybe get out of the camera for a second, but hey, it is what it is on this show, man. We just roll with it. So we were talking the bait that's been working in these creeks, some of the redfish patterns. Let's move to flounder. What are you seeing with flounder right now?
We're seeing tons of numbers. As far as size, we're kind of in that slump right now. Everything in there, and you can go and catch as many 14, 15-inch fish as you want, and smaller. Trying to find the bigger ones, the big doormats and all that. That's been the hard part lately. But I mean, every day the boats are going out catching good numbers. You're averaging, in 4 hours, 2 people, you can go catch 20, 30 flounder. Have some bluefish mixed in and some other stuff. We're kind of away. I haven't seen a whole lot of trout. One of the guys the other day caught a 28 or 29-inch. I can't remember what it was, but it was a little over 7 pounds.
Trout,
speckled trout, not in the moon phase. And the other day I was poling, and I was up on the north end, and I just kept hearing and seeing like just sucking trout all over the place. And I didn't have any topwater plugs or anything with me because we were fly fishing, of course.
Right.
But I wanted to go back and try it because I swore they were all trout just busting all around in there.
Man, I don't hear a lot of 29-inch trout in Merle.
No, it was a good one. It was still on the skinny side. It was just over 7 pounds, and caught by the jetties. So they're all sitting out there, or that one was.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you were talking about numbers of flounders again. I've been out last several weeks. I went out both days, Saturday and Sunday, and like you were saying, I caught, I think on Saturday, 6 or 8 flounder, no keepers. I think 15 3/4
yeah,
was my biggest. My smallest was like 10 inches. So, I mean, mix of small. And then again on Sunday, the exact same thing. Plenty of numbers, no keepers. Guys at the landing that I'm talking to, it's the same story.
yeah. I think we're getting a lot of pressure too. With North Carolina's flounder fishery being shut down.
Mhm.
And I see them early in the morning, depending on what the tide is. We're getting a lot of giggers from North Carolina that are coming down, fishing through the night, just gigging whatever. And I know they're doing pretty well. So I've had some local friends that have gone out, and, they're seeing them, they're stabbing them, doing all that stuff. So
Okay.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
The boat traffic out there is getting crazy. So
Yeah.
trying to hide from people, that's the biggest game right now.
Right.
But like I say, there's good numbers in there, and especially like I say, I can relate to today as many that I saw coming out of the water busting on shrimp at dead low tide. So
Yeah, that's so cool. I love seeing flounder come out of the water like that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so cool. So what are you using to target? Let's talk your presentation first, and then let's talk some lures.
Yeah, most of the stuff, especially for flounder, we're doing a combination. If you can get some good, 3-4 inch mullet, we're gonna throw that. But mud minnows are still working. As far as the artificials, same thing. Kind of, the double voodoos, jerk shads, stuff like that. Doing a bunch of paddle tails, just kind of that slow roll, just kind of a little bit of twitch every now and then. But super light weights. We don't have the tide hasn't been really crazy. We've actually been kind of low. Our highs have only been like 3/8, 3/9. So some of the areas I'm having a hard time. Like the grass isn't as flooded as it normally is when I'm trying to get in there. Go chase them on the flats boat and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean a mud minnow and a jig head, it still works. So
Yeah.
knocker rigs and stuff like that as far as the live bait.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
And yeah, you're just basically soaking that bait or maybe dragging it a little bit. Is
yeah,
that
it's a slow drag, just kind of coming across the bottom. Like I was saying before, that double mud minnow rig, you got the jig head sitting there on the bottom, and then you got the other one sitting up top here. And
yeah.
I mean, you can catch 2 at a time like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fun and it works. It's great for kids. A lot of the husband and wives that are coming out right now, usually I'll let the wife have the double rig and let him throw an artificial or something. So I have found that, artificials, you're not going to get we have not been getting as many bites, but the ones that we are getting are better quality.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
but, like I was talking before, all the pogies and all that stuff are in. So if you can get those, I would use them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, is there any certain structure that you are looking for that it's like, hey, listen, I want to head over here to this, whatever, creek mouth or oyster bar. Is there anything that you're looking for as far as targeting flounder?
Not really. Still doing a lot of the deep holes. Depending on what the tide is. I know the reds, I've kind of transitioned. It's been more like that hard grass line.
Yeah.
Where you'll have oysters right up to it. I've been trying to target more there and having better success doing it that way. But flounder's been, deep holes, transitional areas, T intersections and stuff like that. On the fall, anything off the flat, you're going to have good numbers and good fish pushing through there. But a lot of the deeper areas where it's, if you got pluff mud for, a nice ledge and then a drop off, that's where we've been kind of doing a little bit better as far as the flounder numbers.
Okay. Yeah. So so on Sunday, I think I caught all of my flounder out of little drains. Anything that was coming out of the grass, pulling whatever bait, I don't care how big or small the little drain was. Every time I cast it up in there, I threw it up into the drain where it was dry and then pulled it out. And I mean, I was getting hit every time. So I was like, okay, I am not passing those up at
Yeah,
all.
they're sitting there staging, waiting on that bait to get pushed out.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I
but
love
yeah,
it.
I mean, that's most of the stuff. Obviously we're in bay boats, so we got to have a little bit deeper water. But with the flats boats, I've been going up, and a lot of times, I know the other day, you same thing, low tide, you would hear the explosion, you'd see the pluff mud explode. If you could get a cast right back in there, you could catch that fish. It wasn't like they were just coming up and then sitting right back down, and they were ready to eat again.
Yeah.
So.
So I want to back up real quick. We never really talked about top water, but tell me about your top water right now with it being June.
I haven't even had a chance to throw top water.
Oh, get out of here.
The
Yes, you
way
have.
that, yeah, no, the way the
No
sunrise is
kidding.
um, a lot of it, we've been days off. We've been doing tournament prep. We got that Southern Redfish Cup is this coming weekend down out of Georgetown. So we're
Yeah,
fishing
yeah.
that. So any days off, we've been trying to go down and pre-fish that and just kind of explore some new water. But same thing. It's like I got a different flats boat now, so it was trying to break that in, get it ready. Got another captain that's working with us, Colin. So I've been trying to teach him, just the ropes of going in the grass, when you have to get out, certain areas and all that stuff. So
Right.
it's been busy, and I haven't got to get up and, go super early and throw top water first thing in the morning, especially now that the bait's here, because we always leave the dock at like 5:30 to go throw the cast net for an hour and load up on live bait. So it's like I just haven't had that time to do it. So top water, I don't know about. I have no doubt in my mind that it would work right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
With the fish that we're seeing and stuff like that.
Yeah. On Sunday, I had a couple of swirls. Never got them, but they came up and they busted on it.
Yeah.
And then I went right back with a paddle tail and I caught them. So, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe, yeah, they were interested, but then when I went right back into it again, I was like, okay. So I kind of
got
abandoned
fired
the
up.
top water and kind of put that away and just went back to the paddle tail. So,
yeah,
but
that's it. It's an easier bait for them to chase and stuff. A redfish coming up off the bottom or whatnot. Trying to swipe at it. I miss more redfish on top water than I do anything else.
Yeah.
It's just the ergonomics of their face. You're gonna miss.
Exactly. So we really only have a couple minutes left. So let's touch on trout, your speckled trout. What are you seeing out there?
That one was the biggest one I've seen in a while. Randomly, we've kind of gotten away from floating live shrimp and stuff like that for our main trout rigs. They're having some success, putting a circle hook on, and whether it's a pogie or anything like that, because those trout they'll still eat it. Floating a croaker under a cork, that's probably one of the best baits or whatnot. But I don't think we had the good bite this year as far as what the trout was. We never had any good numbers or caught any good numbers, even short fish. So I know there's still some in here. See them, I hear them, all that good stuff, but just haven't. I don't know. That whole winter time, we never had that big trout push. So a lot of those resident fish, I don't know if they're still here or not.
Yeah. And matter of fact, you said the exact same thing back in March when we talked about, what you were seeing with trout. And you made the comment, well, maybe they're just not taking the left turn, to come into Merle's Inlet. And
that's it.
I was like, and maybe they just didn't this year. I have no idea.
I don't know. I know I saw some because it was kind of funny. You'd see like a pair of redfish and there'd be a trout in the middle of them, just slowly swimming up a oyster bed or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, no, and that was everybody in the inlet. Nobody really had a really good trout year. Granted, there was some big ones and there was some caught, but it was never any of the big numbers.
Yeah. I was pretty much hearing the exact same thing. So, Captain Chris, we're done. This is it. I mean, it's flown by. I want to keep picking your brain, but I want to make sure that, you tell everybody how they can book a charter with you, because we are getting a ton of people coming down on vacation. They want to go fishing. And I'm telling you what, guys, he is the captain that you want to book. So go to Carolina Hook and Fly. Chris, give all of the information.
Yeah, no, feel free. You can check out our website. We're constantly doing updates to it. Like I said, we got 3 brand new boats. We got 2 new Pathfinders and a Maverick. So you're getting the best boats, the best gear, all that stuff. So look at our website, carolinahookandfly.com. You can hit us up on any of the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and my number. By all means, text me. Texting is probably the easiest way. A lot of times, almost 100% of the time, I really don't answer my phone unless it's one of the other captains calling, just trying to pass the word on. But if I'm with clients, I'll call you back after the trip or at the end of the day. But a text, I can always get away and answer that. So I'm pretty quick on that. Or shoot me an email. You got questions, comments, you need help with something, you need an area to go explore. We're here to help. We want everybody to be successful on the water and have good days. And, what we do, try to be stewards of the water.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, hit him up, book him up, keep him busy. I don't want to see him with a day off, so keep him on the water.
It's hard. It's hard between fishing and boat maintenance, trying to keep everything going.
Oh, I bet.
Emails, all this stuff. So it's long days right now.
Yeah, I bet. But that's great. I'm glad it is. I'm glad it is right now. So again, Captain Chris, really do appreciate you. And I will see you again in a couple of months. So let's do this at the end of summer, beginning of fall, and we'll talk about that great fall bite and that fall pattern. So again, thank you so much for jumping on and letting us pick your brain.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Great. Okay, guys, remember, conservation starts with you. Release a fish for someone else to enjoy. And you've been listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network.